Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Tonight, it is the AMA Next Gen Challenge Series from the Watkins Glen International in virtual iRacing. I am Wesley Outland, joined alongside. Tonight will be Will Duvall. Will Duvall will be calling the broadcast here as we are live from Watkins Glen. Just about maybe 2 minutes left to go in practice. And Will, this should be an interesting race. Watkins Glen always offers that type of excitement. And another thing that's going to be interesting is the boot has been added to the race tonight. The boot is normally making it an 11-turn track. Recently, Watkins Glen and NASCAR has took the boot away from Watkins Glen racing competition, except for Indy cars. Tonight, we will race with the boot, 11 turns, 30-something plus laps for the feature. This should be a good one here this evening, LSR TV.
That's right, and I, for one, I'm extremely excited to see it. This is going to actually be my first look at the boot. I have not yet got to see it or experience it. So this should be a really fun one. It's going to be really exciting. I'm happy to be along on the ride with you, Wesley.
Well, Watkins Glen International is, again, a very unique racetrack for sure. We're going to tell you about the demographics of this racetrack as soon as we get these guys on the racetrack for sure. And, you know, this track has everything on, you know, looking at this thing. You've got the backstretch, you've got the inner loop that I call the bus stop, the outer loop, the chute, the toe, the boot, the heel. All of these things make this 11-turn race course popular, as again in years past they have done away with what they call the, you know, the chute, the toe, the boot, and the heel. This time tonight, though, we will have that a part of our broadcast coverage with the AMA Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing this Thursday evening on LSR TV. So again, these drivers finishing up with practice. Practice is officially just wrapping up, and now we will prepare for qualifying. And you know, this looks like, for the most part, Will Duvall, BJ Duvall. He's got two different names, you know, like Cody Charles Wooten. I'm Wesley Outland. My name is my name. But anyhow, the alter egos are there for the other guys on our crew. But anyhow, Will, what I was trying to say, bud, is that this should be a fairly clean race tonight. It should be a quick race tonight. We're thinking pit stops should be around lap 18 to 20. 18 to 22, 25 tops possible, which make it maybe a one-time pit stop. We might see green flag pit stops, only local cautions unless there's like a massive pile up where they have to throw a yellow. This should be a quick breeze here this evening.
That's right, and I spent a little bit of time talking to Dale Osborne and Dustin Ping, and one of our drivers, and one of the admins, forgive me on that, Tyler Hilton. Spent a little bit of time talking to them, and they said that they're expecting about 14 to 15 laps on fuel. So I'm expecting pit stops to happen right around that time.
Qualifying will be set to go here in just a matter of moments. We are ready here this evening for these drivers to hit the racetrack and get underway. So these drivers preparing to go here on the racetrack for this evening's event. And here comes a couple cars making their way now around the Speedway. Qualifying, the best lap being put down will set the lineup for the race as we prepare for this evening's show. We also want to let everybody know where we're currently at right now with the action of what is the AMA. They just recently announced during the break that they were changing their names from what was the Next Gen Challenge Series to back to the AMA. And now they have AMA sanctioning, which is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series. And right now, Knightdale, North Carolina's Steve Baker is leading the point standings out of 9 races. This is race 10 tonight. Currently sits with no wins, but good consistency. 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, some bonus points added at 12. He currently is the man at the top of the board, leading by 30 points to Roy Hyde. And Roy Hyde has 1 win, and he's one of those drivers that kind of struggled at the beginning of this series, Will, but he's really took the whip here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. It's been really exciting to see him up there towards the top. Really cracking down on it and getting rolling through the field. Starts back normally, and a lot of times he says he doesn't qualify, and he just works his way through the field. And if I'm remembering correctly, he pulled off a winner about 3 weeks ago, as we were off last week.
Yes, sir. I think he won the race at Charlotte, if you will, when he won that event. Well, actually, let's just go back and just check up and make sure that it is official, the right stuff, because I try to give out the right stats here for this, all of the broadcasts that I try to do. Roy Hyde coming off of a win, and that was, let's see here, at Charlotte. Yes, it was. I'm correct on that. I just checked up, and I was right. So it was the Charlotte Oval where he picked up the win back on July the 9th. As a matter of fact, just about 3 weeks ago, as we move into the month of August, Will Duvall, and that was a special time for sure. Qualifying? Are they coming out? Are they playing possum? What's going on?
I don't currently seem to. Oh, there we go. I wasn't
Here
seeing
comes
anybody
one car
on track.
coming out to play. Number 43. We'll see how he does. That's the driver of Brian Snare in the number 43 entries, ready to roll here. Looking to make his tonight here at Watkins Glen. He led a lap at Iowa last week, believe it or not, got himself a top 10 finish as well, 7th place. 6th place at Martinsville in June. And right now, the driver of the number 43, Brian Snare, just finishing up a qualifying. 4 top 10s to his credit, no top 5s and no wins for the driver out of the Virginia area, Brian Snare in the 43. Blunt on the racetrack now. It looks, I think qualifying is about to be concluded. I don't know why we're not seeing any of the cars. 91 just finishes up with time. That was the 91 machine. Douglas Wasaki. He currently sits 10th in the points. We'll get all these guys lined up. I think we're about ready to go racing. I apologize for those that are watching our broadcast on LSR TV. I don't know where the qualifying came from. I think for the most part, everybody kind of played possum and didn't even put a lap down in qualifying, Will Duvall.
Yeah, it's been kind of got less than half the field, I think, actually put down a lap. See if we can get our qualifying results up real quick here.
We'll make sure we get these guys gridded. They'll get gridded here and get ready to race for this evening. For the AMA Next Gen Cup Series, the Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. And there is the qualifying results. And the fast qualifier is Dell Osmond with the number 88 machine, 150.490 second. Here is your starting lineup here tonight. Dell Osmond on the pole. Steve Baker on the outside from Knightdale, the points leader in 55. Row number 2 is Dustin Ping in the 1, Eric Blunt in the 6.
Row number 3 is going to be Brian Snare in the 43 and Tyler Hilton in the 82. Row number 4 is going to be Chris Wood in the 91 and Kendall Levron in the 8.
Row number 5, Chris Canfield in the 03 from New England. He's 9th. Chris Medford is 10th from Indiana in the 84. Row number 6 in the top 12, Damon Cox-Mudd of the Muddy Water Racing 57, 11th. And Florida's Cade Green in 19. He'll start 12th outside row 6. And then there's Brian Littleton. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
We got Brian Littleton, Doug Wasaki, Justin Walters, and Roy Hyde, which is race control up there. It's one of our admins. He's not actually in the race.
So actually 16 drivers will take the green flag here this evening for this race. It will be ready to go here in a matter of moments. It is a Formula One standing start. Getting everybody into place here. When they do, we will get ready to drop the green flag for 35 laps. The green light's on. They are taking off. We are underway here at Watkins Glen. Wow, apologies. They are not doing a standing start. My apologies on that. I am sorry. They are actually going to make a lap around with the pace car before they come to green. I did not realize that. I'm so sorry for that. Now, the race tonight for the Northwest Truck Series, 11:45 Eastern on LSR TV. Now, will that race with me and Greg Rentz in the booth calling the action from Canadian Tire Motorsport, that will be a standing start when they drop the green.
That'll be pretty exciting to see, and as these drivers have quite a long pace right here. I believe we're going to go ahead and cut to commercial really quick, and then we'll get back right before they go green.
A quick commercial break, and we'll drop the green flag. This is coverage of the AMA on LSR TV, your home of sim racing.
ETE Reman is the world's best manufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new,
because there's a thing in there where you can reset it. So yeah, just do it quickly because it's ending right now.
Could you possibly help him find a way to get sound also, Cody?
Legion.
What? Not showing any overlay now. It was working perfectly fine.
Green flag is in the air. We are underway. Brian Snare dives in the grass and makes a daring move for first. Baker up the racetrack. Blunt's there. Snare will probably lose 5 spots after that dive bomb move to try to go to the lead. And Osmond will take the lead on the opening go as they move their way to turn 2 to the straightaway. They're going to make their way to the inner loop of the bus stop down the back straightaway. As they go back into the corner. We are underway for this event. It's going to be a good one for sure. Off of the bus stop, they're going to make their way to the chicane to the chute. They're going to make their way off that exit of the racetrack. They're going to come onto the entrance of what they call the boot. The boot will be ready to make their first appearance here. Last Sunday night, you saw the Adrenaline iRacing League run Watkins Glen without the boot. This is the boot. And the entrance is now 11 turns instead of 8 turns around Watkins Glen. Up the hill. They'll make their way around the course. Up the boot. Into turn, back on course now. On that corner, a right-hander. Right-hander through the chute. Down into the corner. Back off of turn number 9, 10, and 11. There's turn 9. There comes turn 10. There is the entrance of the boot back onto the main course again. So this is turn number 9. Turn 10 now after they come through the chute, exiting the boot. Final corner through turn 10. Here they come now to the straightaway out of that turn 11. Turn 11 and back down to the front straightaway. And this is the IndyCar version of Watkins Glen that we are racing on tonight. Here on LSR TV, the opening lap will be Steve Osmond, Steve Baker in second spot. And I know it's a 35 lap race, But Will Duvall, there is definitely a lot of excitement that we can see here, just like what Brian Snare did at the start.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be extremely exciting. The move from Brian Snare was insane. And we see him, Dale Osmond running away with it now. Brian Snare fell clear back to 15th with that move. We're looking now, see if we can find our closest battle. Looks like it's going to be towards the back here. Between, well, I guess they're kind of single filed out too, actually.
That's right. They're all single filed out. Here at the opening go. This race underway here at Watkins Glen. Kind of a laid back setting, if you will. There's Brian Littleton behind them. All coming down the entrance of now the boot. Back on the race course here. Watch them as they come off the corner. Opening lap, it's still Osmond out in front. There's Brian Littleton. That Michelob Ultra entry starting to close in. A couple other cars down into that corner. Now back on to the main part of the race course, right around this curve here at turn 8. They'll make their way through turn 8. Once they get around this curve and make another driver right, they'll make a driver left. They'll make that left and they'll merge back onto what is now part of the original today's Watkins Glen course, as I mentioned, off the boot into the chute. Here they come back onto the Speedway into turn number 10, making their way again through this corner of the racetrack right there. And then he comes around that part of turn number 11 and back down the front straightaway here at the Watkins Glen International Speedway. Opening laps for this event. Brian Littleton, you're riding on board with him now. A lot of cool things here at the racetrack. They're making their way back into turn number 1. Oh, and they got to watch that to avoid that sand trap. We saw what happened to Brian Snare when he tried to make a dive bomb move for the start. And there you see where Brian Snare ended up right there in the 43 machine. Now they work their way up into turn number 2 and 3 through the S's, if you will, of the race course. Make their way up the straightaway through turns 3 and 4. They're on that back straightaway now, they call it. Get up to about 170 miles an hour. Then they'll back her down, go through the inner loop. The inner loop, or the bus stop, is what they call it. As there goes your time, and it's scoring up now. Can we show the first name, please? Through the bus stop as they go through the corner. Through the outer loop. Now to the chute. The chute will then merge from what used to be a straight line into the chicane to turn 9. And now we have our way to turn number 6 and 7 through the chute into the toe of the racetrack. They're now going to make their way into the boot area. The boot, as we're still watching Brian Snare make contact. A couple of cars getting together there. They'll hold it together. Brian Snare, Justin Walters, I believe it is. And Snare off the pace. He'll fall all the way back down to 15th position. As Kendall Levering already out of the race 3 laps down. And then they'll make their way from the boot into the hill. This is the hill of the boot now, if you will. Into turn number 8. Off racetrack is also the 17, I believe it is. Then they'll come through the hill to turn 9. Back on the race course at the original current Watkins Glen race facility. And then they'll come back around to the corner of the driver right, driver left at turn 10. Turn 10, another little straightaway, and back on to turn number 11. And that's the way it stands right now. That's a lap around Watkins Glen International. Currently the track that we're racing on is a length distance of 3.4 miles, 5.43 kilometers. Doug Wasaki there as the 34 machine makes his way around the racetrack. He's on the back straightaway, picking up speed. He'll go to the inner loop, into the bus stop, watch it in front of Littleton. If they go and miss the bus stop, remember they gotta stop their cars or they will suffer a penalty, an EOL penalty. So always keep an eye on that as Doug Wasaki comes back around. The Falcon Motorsports entry number 34. He currently sits right now in the 10th position. Lap 4 of 35. Del Osmond leading the way. Will Duvall, back at you, bud. He's got a really strong lead in that number 88 Sundrop machine. But Steve Baker, the points leader, is slowly but surely trying to run him down. The man out of Knightdale, North Carolina, looking for that first win officially on the series. Could it happen tonight at the Glen? He is in second.
And Dale Osmond hot on the heels, or Steve Baker, forgive me, hot on the heels of Dale Osmond, looking, goes to the inside right here in the final turn, heading back down the straightaway, and got a new leader, Steve Baker.
New leader, Steve Baker, the points leader, who's leading by 30 over Roy Hyde, has now took the lead. They go to turn 1. Steve Baker, the black and silver LSR TV, number 55 from Knightdale, North Carolina, leads the way off of turn 2. Back up the back straightaway. First, they got to get through those S's. Through the S's, slithering, sneaking, sliding their way up to the back straightaway now at speeds of almost 170 miles an hour. And Steve Baker now opening up that margin almost a half a second over Del Osmond as they go into the inner loop stop, if you will. They'll come through the chicane. They'll make their way now into turn number 6 and 7 and make the entrance of the old corner boot through the chute, through the inner loop, the outer loop now. And now they'll straight line it back into the boot here. The boot, very unique here at Watkins Glen.
That's right, you can see it right here. As I mentioned earlier, I'm completely unfamiliar with this. This is my first look at it, but this boot looks like so much fun to drive. I'm gonna have to try it out myself for sure. It comes around a corner and then goes for a long dive down the hill and then right back up into the sweeping turns.
They used to use the boot a lot in the Cup Series days until probably about mid-2000s, and that's why right here there used to be some bad wrecks and accidents right off this area here. There used to be cars at speed coming into the sand trap and losing control and careening and flipping and crashing. And in an interest of making things safer, they decided to make the boot be disabled and just have the straightaway course in through the chute, through the chicane now, if you will. And that's the original version of what is Watkins Glen, as they'll make their way now back into turn number 8 in the original course, but turn 11 now with the boot added. 6 of 35, Steve Baker, Del Osmond, Dustin Ping, Eric Blunt, and Chris Medford, your top 5. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more coverage from Watkins Glen. This is the American Motor Racing Association Next Gen Challenge Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, on your home for sim racing, LSR TV.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now. They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
track here at Watkins Glen through the inner loop. At the bus stop, the chicane and the carousel. Onto the boot. Steve Baker leads the way in that number 55 machine. He has yet to win a race under the direction of the American Motor Association Next Gen Challenge Series. Could that come tonight? For the points leader from Knightdale, North Carolina. He is leading the way in the 55. Del Osmond, who's won some races, also on the series. He is in the second spot in the number 88. Dustin Ping third, Chris Medford fourth, and Eric Blunt the top 5 as it stands right now here at Watkins Glen. Steve Baker what a strong performance he's got, as we saw Eric Blunt in the top 5 a moment ago. And there is the leaders again, coming off of the heel of the boot and coming back on the main course at Watkins Glen.
That's right, Steve Baker looking very strong in the early goings here. Gotta wonder if Dale Osmond is holding back right now to save tires and fuel, or if Steve Baker is that much stronger than him right now. As you see, the gap is slowly increasing further and further as this race continues.
And remember, they're going to have to make a pit stop sometime between lap 18 to or probably 22 is pushing it to that limit. That's what we're being told. And I know this is a 35-lap race, but I promise you, they're going to be knocking off some miles here, close to almost 100 miles the distance for this event here tonight for the drivers of the AMA Next Gen Challenge Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing on LSR TV. And Steve Baker currently out in front. Del Osmond now falling back over a second as they go back to the bus stop into the outer loop in turn number 5.
Strong going here. I always love that part of the track right there and watching them come flying down straightaway and have to get hard on the brakes and come through and just watch them all stack up. That was always exciting for me as they entered back down into the boot right now.
Good show they're putting on for sure. Round number 10 tonight of the series. Ready for what's going on this evening for these drivers. Tonight's race is the evidence-based mommy crossing at the Glen. It said that it was going to be a 50-lap race. I think they decided at the last minute to condense it down to 35 laps to try to help with an effort of not having such a long, prolonged show here. Road course racing can be tiring if you're not familiar with it. Going left, going right, whether virtual or reality, it is a grind to figure out how to get around the place of track, especially a place like New York's Watkins Glen.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, anytime I've ever been on a road course, man, one thing that really got me was my shoulders. You know, I'm a dirt track driver. I do a lot of turning right. Yes, obviously you're turning left on a dirt track, but you're doing a lot of turning right. I don't have a lot of stress on my shoulders. When you're on the road course, you're constantly left, right, left, right, left, right. My shoulders are sore by the time I'm done with a 15-lap race. I can't imagine what these guys are doing a 35-lap race.
And again, this is round 13, if you will. The last time we were in action was on July 16th at the Falcon Strong 175. And Brian Littleton picked up the win. That was a special race for the driver, Brian Littleton. Let's find where he's at on racetrack right now. Currently in the 8th position, the driver from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, making his way down the straightaway and heading back into turn number 1 here at Watkins Glen, the Michelob entry. A wild show, Will. You called that race with me at Iowa Speedway 2 weeks ago, the last broadcast we had, round number 12 of the series for the AMA Next Gen program.
Yeah, that race was absolutely insane. He had a fantastic showing. And if I'm really honest with you, I forget how that race ended, but I remember we talked about Brian Littleton a lot. He was up there in the runnings for the race quite a bit.
Yes, sir. Brian Littleton, again, coming off of in his career of iRacing so far from Pennsylvania. 106 starts, 107 tonight. And on this series alone, Brian Littleton has done a phenomenal job. The driver currently 3rd in the standings. He has 3 wins on the Next Gen Challenge Series, 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s for the driver, who's 3rd in the standings. and again picked up the win at Iowa. He also picked up wins at Pocono and Auto Club Speedway. So Brian Littleton, no slouch at all. And right now, he's just, I think, lying in the weeds, waiting for the opportunity to strike as it stands right now. Steve Baker, the man out in front. Del Osmond second. Dustin Ping. How about Ping, man? He's doing good. Got himself a bump one spot in the points last week. He fell from 6th to now 7th in the standings. But Dustin Ping currently on the racetrack, and he's looking for that first win. Maybe his best finish right now is 4th back in June at Bristol. And the current man in the number, Dustin Ping in the number 1 machine, currently right now on the racetrack in 3rd. He currently has 2 top 5 finishes and 5 top 10 finishes for the driver of Indiana's Dustin Ping. So that's where he stands right now in the number 1 machine. Kind of lying in the weeds, way back, 15 seconds back to the leader. But anything could happen when these pit stops happen, Will Duvall.
Yeah, absolutely. We just have no idea what's going to actually play out. Who's going to try to conserve their tires and fuel, and who's going to push it as hard as they can and have to pit earlier, and what that'll do for the latter part of this race, as it should only have to pit about 1 time this race. We'll see exactly how they play it out and how this works out for everybody. Steve Baker and Dale Osmond ran away with it. Looks like they basically pushed their tires further than anybody else has already.
Coming up next week, again, another big race for the series is going to be round number 13. They'll make their trip to, I believe it's going to be Rockingham. They're going to be at Rockingham Speedway next Thursday night for the SCT 150 presented by #Conserve Georgia. Tom Quattlebaum helping make that race possible. 150 laps around the Rock. I love the Rock, Will Duvall. Have you ever been there, buddy? I've been there a time or two, announced there a time or two. That is a special place. I wish they'd bring that track back.
Yeah, I've not been there, but I would absolutely love to get the chance to go there. Every once in a while, like going back and watching some of the old races that they finally release on YouTube and watch some of the races out there. It's like an exciting track, and I'd love to get the opportunity to go out there and watch a race sometime.
And I just want to throw this out there. That is race 13 tonight here at Watkins Glen, but it's actually the 10th race of the season. They actually had a preseason program for 3 weeks, and that was at Kentucky, Dover, and Auto Club. The season officially kicked off on May 7th at Daytona. And the King of the Minutes 250, Dustin German, won that event. As we are seeing right now, the drivers make their way around the racetrack. So again, this is the 13th race on the schedule right now tonight, but this is actually the 10th points race of the AMA, American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series. Steve Baker leads the way. There you see Chris Medford. Let's see how Medford's doing right now. He's in the 4th position. Victory Junction King Camp on the side of that car. Chris Medford currently up 6 positions from the most recent race at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. He went from 18th to 12th in the points after a good finish for Medford, probably so far. Again, he picked up a win at Dover right out of the gate for the first round. And that was at Dover. 1 win for that driver. 1 pole, 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s for the driver of Chris Medford, the man from New England. So there you go, and certainly in the 4th position right now. And while we're at it, let's just check in on Eric Blunt, see where he's at currently in 5th. Where he comes down the front straightaway now as we put lap number 12 completed, working lap 13 coming up. Eric Blunt currently sitting 6th in the points. He was 7th at the race at Iowa. Lost the spot, 6th in the standings now. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Yeah, Eric Blunt, yes, he was 5th in the points. He fell back 1, so he is 6th in the standings now for this race. And we're going to see where Eric Blunt's at in the number 6 machine. Currently on the racetrack right now in the 5th position, 27 points back to the seconds back to the leader. And again, probably the best finish so far of the season is tied with 2 top 5 place finishes at Darlington and Pocono back in June and in May, June 11th, May 14th to be exact. Looking to break through, the driver has 1 pole, 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s for the man for the Mid-South, currently right now sitting in the top 5. So there is a look at some of the drivers, where they're at, where they're standing, and Will Duvall, anything can happen in road course racing, my friend.
Absolutely, dude. A lot of these drivers aren't used to turning right. And you get outside your element, you never know what's going to happen. And some of these drivers are able to pull it off out here tonight and show that they're capable of turning right. And some of them are showing that they can do it, but they just ain't quite there yet.
Another lap coming on here as they'll make their way back around the Speedway. What a show they are performing here. We're glad you're along for the ride.
You know, a driver that we talked a little bit about earlier is currently one of our 2 weeks moving. That's Chris Medford in the 84, all the way up to 3rd place. Started back in 10th. Got a good showing going for him so far tonight.
Steve Baker, there's Medford. He's in 3rd place right now, 17 seconds back. You just reiterated on. He's got a good run going for him, man. I'm telling you, very happy with him. Some of these drivers struggle in road courses, Will Duvall, and then sometimes you see drivers that struggle in the regular season on the oval courses succeed and excel on the road courses. How could that be? Why is that?
As I was mentioning earlier, it's got a lot to do with the the right-hand turns, and most of these drivers out here, they're used to turning left. They're used to being in Daytona, Talladega, Dover, Bristol. There's no right-hand turns. If you're turning right on one of those tracks, you're probably losing control of your car and trying to regain it. Then you come out here and you're turning right to follow the track. It's completely outside the element. You have to set your car up completely different. You always want a balanced setup from what I've always. You want a balanced setup from left to right when you're on the road course, but versus an oval. I know I personally always stiffen up the right side so the car can sit down on the wall.
Good racing so far. Honestly, just everybody biding their time and playing nice here around Watkins Glen. Will Duvall, Wesley Outland here with you. We're closing in on about 5 laps away from a possibility of a green flag pit stops beginning. I got a feeling it's going to be there, and honestly, it's going to change the complexion of this race because the way things are set up, there's not supposed to be a yellow flag to throw unless there's like a serious multi-car accident. The track is completely blocked, then that's taken into consideration. But the word local yellows, local cautions, is what is used here at in all of the road courses, for that matter, that we broadcast on LSR TV, just like here tonight at Watkins Glen, and later tonight at 11:45 Eastern Time when the Northwest iRacing Truck Series comes to action from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The same will be in effect.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't know if I'll be producing that one, announcing that one, or just sitting in. I'm excited to see that race as well.
Myself and Greg Rentz will be in the broadcast. Within, I think you'll be associate director with Charles Wooten. Charles will be back in the broadcast chair, and we'll be ready to go. There is so much coverage on LiveSimRacing.com. LSR TV. Follow us on LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course. We've got coverage all week long, beginning on Sunday night, the Adrenaline iRacing League coverage there with racing. I think this weekend we go. Iowa winner, Littleton into the tire barrier. on the trap there, entering through the heel of the boot. Problem for Littleton. I don't think he lost that much. What did he fall back? 3 spots, maybe?
I believe he fell back about 3 spots. Let's see if I can't find us a replay here really quick. I think it's right here.
Let's see if we can check out the replay and what happened to Brian Littleton. And see, well, he just putting the nose in the wall there.
And this looks like he overshot the corner. Maybe his tires are starting to get worn or something. He misjudged how much he could get on the brakes with the low tires. Just slid right straight over the tire barrier out there.
For sure. As they make their way back around the racetrack, 15 of 35. Thank you for those that are watching, joining us here on LSR TV again. Coverage tonight from Watkins Glen. A lot of comments on the chat box so far. So much, we appreciate it. Linda Haney, tired and sleepy. I heard that. I'm pretty tired myself. I've been moving from my original establishment in Clayton to relocate to Durham, and it's about 50 miles drive to where I'm moving to. And I've been at it all day today moving. So yes, that can be very grueling and tiresome. So get you a good nap, Linda Haney. The family snare commenting on the craziness that went on there. Thank you. Oh, let's see here. It's decided to do that yesterday. I was happy. Thank you. Okay. All the comments, everybody that's commenting, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of y'all. And keep them coming along as we are currently right now on lap 16 of 35. Wesley Outland here with you, along with Will Duvall, executive producer Charles Wooten off tonight. He'll be back for the Northwest iRacing Truck Series coverage from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And as we are approaching 20 laps to go here, in any moment, I believe, within the next 3 to 5 laps, Will Duvall, we will see a sequence of green flag pit stops as we are approaching halfway through this race in less than 2 laps.
Yeah, and I'm expecting them really, really soon. They told me when I was speaking with them there before the race that they were expecting 14 to 16 laps on fuel. And we're at the 16 lap marker right now as we got Steve Baker, Dale Osborne still out front, quite a long ways from the rest of the field. And I wonder when they're gonna have to come down as they've been pushing our car a little harder than everybody else out here.
And I wonder here as we approach the completion of lap 16, the only 2 crazy things of excitement we saw was Brian Snare make that daring bonsai dive bomb down to turn 1, trying to take the lead away from Baker and Osborne, and that allowed Baker to fall back a couple of spots to Chip and Osborne take the lead, but then Baker would proverbially get the spot back. But that was a crazy move, and honestly, it came so close to working for the 43 car. Will, that would have been an interesting start.
And he fell about all the way back to the end of the grid.
11th position. Yeah, but he had to work his way back up.
He had to work his way back up, but he's sitting back in 11th once again.
Yes, sir. Baker, Osborne, Medford, Ping, Canfield, the top 5. Blunt, Hilton, Littleton, Hyde, and Green, the top 10. When do you come to pit road? Halfway, next time by, here at the Glen, Osborne leads back to turn number 1. Baker there in the 2nd spot, trying to close in on Osborne. Osborne to that number 2 position. Baker, what a strong run he has. Osborne falling back down to 2 seconds here on the back straightaway, picking up speeds at almost 175, 80 miles an hour. They'll make their way into the inner loop. To the bus stop is what I call it. Look out, there's grass there. Quickly. Boy, he was flying through that inner loop, wasn't he? Into the chicane. Getting ready to enter the boot. On the outer loop, here he comes. Onto the boot now. Weaseling their way around the racetrack. He'll come back and come through the hill. This is what the old road course used to be here at Indianapolis, here at Watkins Glen. And the reason why they stopped it is because you're coming up on this corner right here, right around this turn. And for real racing, they put a stop to it because when you come up the hill, you're coming so fast and then you're getting on the binders right here. And they had so many crazy wrecks in this gravel trap there. So many crazy wrecks you could see. I think of wrecks involving Jimmy Johnson in his young career, Robbie Gordon, Jeff Gordon having a crazy wreck there at one time, Dale Earnhardt Jr. one time having a crazy wreck in the gravel trap. And for that reason, Will Duvall, the powers that be at International Speedway Corporation and NASCAR and Watkins Glen made the track condensed, and that's why it's now 8 turns instead of 11 turns. So you're seeing this 11-turn course here, and here comes the leader, Steve Baker, onto the pit lane, halfway this time by.
Steve Baker and Dale Osmond coming down pit lane.
Down to the pit lane. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Will.
I wonder whether or not Chris Medford and Dustin Ping are going to be able to catch up to them. They're the 2 closest cars, 22 and 25 seconds behind. Will they be able to catch them while they're in the pits, and will they?
And my question is this: are you, as Medford will take the lead? Here comes Medford, new leader, 84. Was that smart or not? Because he's going to have to pit also. The man out of Indiana, should he have came down to the pit lane?
Here's my thought. Has he been saving his tires? If he's been saving his tires, he might be able to run a little bit longer if he stops and gets his fuel right here. And maybe 2 right sides and 2 left sides. If he's keeping an eye on his tires and which sides are wearing the most, he might be able to get away with it.
Craziness here for sure. And I'm wondering if he's going to suffer for not pitting. That's my question. Should they all came down to pit lane with everybody else because you knew they were coming into the pits? You have new leaders. You know they're going to lead now. But was it a smart move?
And I really don't know. All we can do is wait and see just what happens. We got about half the field. Looks like heading down the pit road now. Eric Blunt, Tyler Hill, Brian Littleton.
Yes, sir.
Off pit road right now.
And we'll cover these pit stops for you here at Watkins Glen International. Virtual. Here comes Tyler Hilton in the Hilton Designs entry from North Carolina for Falcon Motorsports. He'll come off the pit lane in 9th position. Chris Medford, the leader. There goes Tyler Hilton. Back off the racetrack. Chris Medford, Dustin Ping. The leaders came to the pit lane before halfway. Steve Baker and Dale Osmond are now back in 3rd and 4th. Chris Medford, the man that is leading in car number 84. Let's pick up him on the race course. He's coming to the pit lane. The leader is on pit road now. Chris Medford will at least lead another lap. So is Dustin Ping. I think they either decided to pit this lap, or they might have overshot their pit opportunity when Baker and Osmond was on the pit lane and they had no other choice but to pit now here, Will.
Yeah, that's right. They might have been on the last stretch of fuel right there. The cars only run so long on that little bit of fuel that they've got. Steve Baker will up and back out. 1 and 2 spot.
Back on the pit lane here, getting work done, getting service done. The AMA, American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing here tonight. Round 13, also if you count exhibition races. Round number 10 here of the point season tonight on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Steve Baker leads. Roy Hyde is on the pit lane. Brian Snare is on the pit lane. Let's cover those stops now as we see Steve Baker still running away with this thing. Back to the lead as they cycle back around. Roy Hyde onto the pit lane. Brian Snare, they're falling back on the scoring pylon as we watch now Snare pull off the pits. Here he comes into his pit stall. Now making stop, Roy Hyde now exiting the Charlotte winner in the 00 entry. Back on course here. Barney the iRacing flagman, the flag stand view, intently looking over the field here at the virtual Watkins Glen International with Steve Baker leading the way. There goes Brian Snare. His number 43 will exit off the racetrack in driver right, turn 1. He'll come back on course. He'll end up now in 11th position, followed by pits for Justin Walters. Doug Wasaki also on the pit lane in the 46 and 34. They're coming down the pit stops now for service. And while that goes on, Steve Baker just flew by them, and I think they just went a lap down. Doug Wasaki, Justin Walters will go a lap down after their pit stops on Falcon Motorsports and the Mason-Dixon Motorsports entry. So there you go. 20 of 35 laps coming up on 15 to go. Go ahead, Will DeBall.
Just gonna say Steve Baker's been on an absolute tear. Yeah, I don't find it all too easy to lap anybody on the road course as long as the tracks are.
Steve Baker leads the way. Coming up on 15 to go here at Watkins Glen. We'll step away again. This is your coverage of the AMA on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. More from the Glen as Baker leads, looking as the points leader for that first taste of victory on the series in 2020.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do actually any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftease at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftease.com.
Back here at Watkins Glen, ready to come down to the home stretch of things here. There is Steve Baker making his way around through the bus stop and the boot. Coming now around through turn number 10 off the exit of the boot. And there you see him back into the original course now, which would be turn number 7 and 8 at Watkins Glen. But coming off of turn number 11 now. There's a good battle heating up for 46-34. They pitted earlier. Doug Wasaki, Brian Snare. Brian Snare is the last car on the lead lap. That is actually Doug Wasaki and Justin Walters, if you will, on the race course. This is for positions 12 and 13. They are one lap down to the leaders. And I don't think we're going to see a caution flag unless there's like a massive multi-car pileup. Barney, the iRacing flagman, looking the field over. And you see the 34 of Wasaki making his way back into turn number 1. What a move of power coming by Walters to close and try to reel him in to try to get that spot for 12th to at least be the first car on the free pass. But again, I don't think we'll see a caution flag tonight.
There are no full course cautions that have to go over race today. Justin Walters, about to close the battle we got on track. Justin Walters was trying really hard to get around the background of Wasaki.
Making their way back around the corner. There's Justin Walters again battling with the machine of Wasaki. Wasaki will finally clear him. Steve Baker is out in front. The interval is almost 2.8 seconds to Dale Osmond. There he is right there. As they enter through the boot, exiting off the boot now, back on the main course here at Watkins Glen. They just come through the hill. There goes Osmond coming out of the hill of the course. And now they'll come their way back through the chute. Off of turn number 10, back down a little straightaway here. They'll make a driver right, go into turn number 11, and onto the straightaway. A good race so far. Steve Baker looking for that first win of the series. You know, it's one thing to be Mr. Consistent, Will Duvall, and lead the points and be the points leader, but you want to at least cap off your season if you win the championship by at least saying, hey, I also won a race here. And I think Steve Baker is proving that here tonight. He wants to make it happen.
I'd say Steve Baker showed his muster out here. He's running away from Osmond a little bit there. Actually, looks like Osmond's starting to gain back on him now. As that gap that we were just looking at that was almost 3 seconds is cut down in half.
Baker, Osmond, Medford, Canfield, and Ping, the top 5. What a performance there for those drivers. They're currently in 1 and 2. 1.5 seconds, the interval back as they come off the corner. Ping, Blunt right there battling amongst themselves. That's a pretty close battle for 5th and 6th on the course. As we see now Osmond in 2nd position. And believe it or not, I think it's, you know, it seems like for a little bit Baker's pulling away from Osmond, but Osmond's trying to reel in the leader, Baker.
Yeah, they're definitely back and forth right now. For a minute, Baker was leaps and bounds faster than Osmond. By the end of the lap, Osmond was faster than Baker, and now they're just going back and forth, trading as they go from about a 1.5 seconds to a 2-second gap in a very quick amount of time. And for the viewers out there watching it, you know, they'll think 2 seconds, oh, that's nothing. If you think about it this way, if you're driving a car at 50 miles an hour, 5 seconds is about the length of 10 football fields, if I'm not mistaken, if I have my math correctly. When you're traveling at 100 miles an hour, that gap from one car to the next just continues to increase further and further and further. So you're looking at, you know, 1 second, 2 second gap. That's a long gap from one driver to the next.
Baker, Osmond, Medford, Canfield, and Ping, your top 5. No change in those positions. Steve Baker pulling away, or is he? Osmond is reeling in that interval, closing in on the 55. The double nickel and the double eights battling for the lead, and yes, there was lap cars in the midst of the leader as they make their way around the course. Coming up on the final 12 laps of this event here at Watkins Glen. Don't forget tonight, 11:45 Eastern Time, coverage on LSR TV, your home of sim racing of the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series. The Northwest iRace Truck Series will be in action from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as the 57 of Damon Cox Mudd will get out of the way as they exit the boot on the hill and back on the main course here in turns 9, 10, and 11. As there goes Baker going back to clear those lap cars, and honestly got a little bit of advantage because Osmond got pinned in by that lap car Mudd just a little bit, and that allowed Baker to open that gap up at almost 1.2 seconds now as they go back into turn 1.
The gap closing and opening once again, so Osmond has actually cut it down to about 1.1, 1.2 seconds. So even though they keep going back and forth, Osmond is slowly reeling them in. cutting down on Baker's lead.
Baker is the man out in front. They come through the S's, down that back straightaway, coming up to speed. Here they come back entering. Off of the inner loop, back to the outer loop, onto the boot. Yeah, they're in the chute area now of the boot. This is turns 6 and 7. Around that part of that tight course here, getting ready to climb the hill. Once they climb that hill there, they'll go around the sand trap. Right here, where the sand trap is. Boot. And make their way back onto the course and the original current course here at Watkins Glen. And I don't know if you've ever seen it before, if you do an aerial view. Let's do that. Let's take an aerial view around Watkins Glen next lap. Can we do that? Let's do that, Will Duvall.
Sure thing.
We're gonna do an aerial view around Watkins Glen next time around, and we'll show you all of these things here. An aerial view around this race course. There they go into turn number 1 and 2. Turn 1, little straightaway, then they weasel their way into turn number 2. Turn 2 then becomes the S's, if you will. They'll sneak and slither their way around through the S's, and then they'll make their way into turns 3 and 4 from there. Turn 4 then becomes a long back straightaway, where they're at right now, sorry for the trees, and then they'll enter what they call the bus stop, or the inner loop, if you will. They'll find their way through the inner loop, back up on the course to the outer loop racetrack in turn number 5, and as they'll make their way through the chute and the chicane, they'll enter what we call the boot. A little straightaway, that's where the original course is. This is the entrance of the boot. They're in the toe of the boot now. They're in right now the chute and now entering the toe of the course from turns number 6 and 7. Through the toe, now they go to the boot of this boot. Down the straightaway here. The hill, if you will, coming up on that. Here they come around. They'll make their way through that spot of the boot into the hill, that sharp curve with the sand trap. They'll come through there. There's the hill. The hill will then make its way back up on a straight course to driver left onto turn number 9. Then they'll come back onto the main race course. Then they'll make their way to the straightaway to the tunnel turn. Back into driver left into turn number 10. Another short straightaway chute, and then on to turn driver right 11. And that is a lap around Watkins Glen. 10 laps to go. Final commercial breaks, and we'll take you to the checkered flag. Will Steve Baker, the points leader, finally win on the series? Or will Osmond pull the upset after his most recent victory on the series as well? Medford, Payne, Canfield, the top 5, laying in the weeds, 30 seconds back. It's going to come down to mano y swine right here. Mano y mano, Baker and Osborne. Pick your poison. More coverage when we come back on your home of sim racing, LSR TV. This is the American Motorsports Association.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where we, you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto it, onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftease at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftease.com.
Welcome back. We're set for the final laps, the home stretch, if you will, here at Watkins Glen. Back here on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. I'm Wesley Outland, Will Duvall. Executive producer is Cody Wooten. We're riding on board with Roy Hyde. There he is in that 00 car. Charlotte winner.
And our
Burley in 7th.
Our
Go ahead, Will.
Current biggest mover tonight, so he's up 10 spots. Started back all the way back. Gridded technically in last place, but it was actually in 16th place, so he's up 9 spots. He's still the biggest mover.
What a good job for him. Coming up on the final 6 laps remaining of this event. 7 to go now on the course. Steve Baker, there he is, the man out in front, moving his way through turn 10. 11, driver right, back on the course, and make his way to the straightaway. 6 laps to go. Steve Baker, does anybody got anything for the double nickel? As right now, the interval was close to under a second. Now it's almost 2.1 seconds. 2.1 seconds, the interval for Del Osmond. If he better make a move, Will Duvall, he better make it now as they slither through the S's.
He's going to have to try something. So coming down to the wire. Currently 6 to go. 5 to go this time by. Steve Baker's just running with it right now. Del Osmond's giving everything he's got. He's got a few laps left to make it up.
Entering now back off the course. Here you see them again. They're entering now through the boot, making their way on the race course. Right there, there's the entrance on the boot. They're on the toe here. There's Baker, Osmond. They're 1 and 2. Osmond, can he reel him in here? Not yet. Steve Baker, again, the points leader from Knightdale, North Carolina. However, he has not won. He has not won a series race yet for the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series. Could tonight change that? Baker, Osmond, Medford, Ping, and Canfield, the top 5. Here he comes back on course, making their way up on to turn number 9 and 10. Back through turn number 9, back on the course here at Watkins Glen after going through the boot. Back on course again through turn 10. Weaseling his way on driver right, driver left, driver right through turn 11. And at the line, this time by Will Duvall. Open hand from Barney. The iRacing flagman on the flag stand. 5 to go here at the Glen. Osmond better do something in a hurry or it's going to be Baker's first win on the series.
And Dale Osmond had him down to under 2 seconds, so was coming close to a second and goes off the track. And we'll see if I can get some replay of it. Dale Osmond went off the track and lost all that time.
Let's look on the replay. We'll see what happened here. Osmond, that mistake costing him going off course, but he saves it, doesn't wreck, but loses all of the ground that he had to Steve Baker as we saw Baker coming down the straightaway. That's why it took so long for Osmond to now run him down. 3.2 seconds, the interval. Can Osmond even see Baker? Yes, he can in his sights. But there is Baker, still a good, strong effort. I think that mistake right there could have possibly clinched the race and sealed the fate for Dale Osmond not winning this and giving Steve Baker his first win on the series here at Watkins Glen.
It very well might have sealed his fate. We could only hope to see him get up there and then hopefully make a run for it. But at the same time, can't help but pull for Steve Baker, the points leader, without even a win yet this season. You can't help but root for the guy.
Baker out in front, the interval now almost 4.5 seconds there for Dale Osmond in second. Medford still way back in third, 31 seconds. Dustin Ping, 35 to the leader. Chris Canfield, 58 seconds back to the leader. And there's your top 5 right now as it stands, as watching them come back on course. There goes Canfield in the top 5, just moved by lap car Doug Wasaki in the 4:34 machine. 3 to go. 3 laps to go. Steve Baker. Wine and dining. Looking off the corner through the S's here at the Glen. Making his way down through that corner, down that long straightaway, coming up to speed. Right on board. Let's run on board with 55, Steve Baker. Going back in a turn, the back straightaway. Here he comes into the inner loop, the bus stop, if you will. Rumble strips galore, helping him negotiate around to the outer loop of the racetrack. He'll go to the outer loop, and then he'll set his sights now into turn number 5 and 6, entering what we call the chute onto the boot. Moving his way down into turn number 6 and 7. He's on the toe of the Speedway. Here's on the toe, here of the road course, down the straightaway there. He'll now make that curve, driver right, and move into the hill of the racetrack, is what we're describing as the boot of Watkins Glen. They do not use it anymore for NASCARs. IndyCar does sometime. And there's the hill, up the hill. That's why they call it the hill. And that was the reason why they stopped it, because a lot of dangerous wrecks happen here with all these high-speed crashes going into that sand trap, if you will. Weaseling their way from the boot to the hill, coming back on now to the current course here at Watkins Glen after a driver left at turn number 9, or turn 8 to turn 9. Another part through the tunnel turn into the straightaway. Now the turn number 10, driver left. Another little short chute make his way to driver right. And that is a lap around Watkins Glen as he comes to the start-finish line and the roar of the virtual crowd. 2 laps to go for the driver of Steve Baker. He's out in front. Look at him go back to the corner. 3 to go. My apologies. 3 laps to go.
Steve Baker looking really strong out there. He's running away with it. His Osmond, after going off the track, seems to be struggling. A little fan of the car. Seen a little bit ago, I noticed he got a little bit wobbly coming through on the turns. Just been losing ground ever since.
Baker leading the way. The interval now 6.2 seconds.
Baker's again catching up to lap traffic. Interesting to see if this is going to help Osmond any.
Baker off the turn. Here we go. Look at the interval. There's Baker. There he is. Okay, there's Osmond. That's the exit of the race course. Baker coming off of turn number 11 now. Lap cars in the way. Now here's the thing, Will. If he could play his cards right, Osmond could. He could try to close in as Steve Baker is trying to get through this lap car of the number 17. Correction, number 82 of Tyler Hilton. If he could clear him and maybe give him some kind of a fight, then so be it. That's to allow Osmond to close in, but it's 2 laps to go now. And it looks like, honestly, Baker is setting the pace. He'll go to speed to the outside lane. Driver left on Hilton and clear him as they go into the outer loop, the inner loop.
And Baker's making it look easy. He just flew right by the 2 car of Tyler Hilton.
Steve Baker continuing to lead as they go through the hill. Osmond second, Medford third, Ping and Canfield the top 5. All right. This time around, they're going to come to the white flag. If you got anything now, Osmond, you better throw it out there now. But the interval is almost 9 seconds. Honestly, he could oh, Osmond's in the sand trap. Sand trap exiting the boot. And that is what's hurt him. White flag coming out for Steve Baker. Down the straightaway here at Watkins Glen. Here's a replay. 1 lap to go for Steve Baker. This is why Osmond has now fell so far back in second in the 88. Meanwhile, white flag to the finish, to the finish. The leader is Baker. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go for the 5. Almost 21 seconds back. Now it's Del Osmond in second. If it can at least not have Medford run him down, he'll settle for the bridesmaid position. But that mistake by Osmond hurt him big time. Baker, it's his race to lose. He's in the inner loop for the final time. The outer loop and entering the boot here at Watkins Glen, coming to the checkered flag and a big, big lead for this first win finally for the series points leader, Will Duvall.
Looks like Steve Baker's got this in the bag. It's going to take a massive mistake on his part in order to lose this race. Looks like he's finally going to bring it home in victory lane. That 55
and a road course win at that. The points leader of the series will finally exit off of turn number 8 at the end of the hill at the boot, right where we saw Osmond wreck a few moments ago as he was coming for the white flag. And the interval is back almost 22 seconds now. Steve Baker from Knightdale, North Carolina, exits the boot at the hill of the Speedway. He weasels his way into turn number 9. Back on the now original course here at Watkins Glen. A driver left onto the course. Another driver left into turn number 10. Couple of lap cars in his midst, but it is not for anything to worry about as he's about to close in on Damon Cox Mudd. Driver right, final time to the crescendo of the crowd. Steve Baker, points leader, now finally a winner on the American Motorsports Association Challenge Series. He dominates here at the Glen. Osmond in that number 88 machine. Coming across the line. Second place now for Osmond. Medford will now cross the line in 84. Here he comes for third. Ping is fourth. Canfield, 5th place. Where is he at now? He's now exiting turns number 8, 9, and 10 on the course. Back on the Speedway after going through the boot. He's currently 5th now. Will follow 5th place. Chris Canfield, turn 10. Driver left, now make a driver right. Here comes Canfield, off the corner, off the course, making his way to the start-finish line. And he will finish in the top 5. Roy Hyde, here he comes, making his way off the race course in the boot. Back on the original part of the Speedway, the Charlotte winner. He's right there. He's getting ready to come to the start-finish line as well. In turn 10, making his way through turn 11. There's just a little the interval of all of these drivers and how far back they are. What a performance for the 55, Will Duvall, as here comes Eric Blunt. Here comes Brian Littleton. All coming across the line. These are on the lead lap.
Fantastic race for everybody.
It's over.
First turn.
Yes, sir. It's over.
Quick look at our race results here.
Yes, sir. What a race. Let's look at the results of this event. Dale Osmond, the winner. Steve Baker in second spot. Almost 20 seconds back at the checkered flag. Wait a minute, why is it saying Dale Osmond's the winner? It's not Dale Osmond, it's Steve Baker. Steve Baker is the winner. Dale Osmond is second. The results are all screwed up. There we go. Here we go. There it is. Steve Baker is the winner. Dale Osmond, second spot, 23 seconds back. 32 seconds back is Chris Medford. 33 seconds back is Dustin Ping, and Chris Canfield is in 5th, almost a minute and 7 seconds back. Then it's Roy Hyde, Eric Blunt, Brian Littleton, and Tyler Hilton, Brian Snare, the top 10. Take them through the rest of the rundown, Will Duvall.
Then we got Douglas Sockman 11th, Justin Walters 12th, Damon Cox Mudd was 13th, Cade Green 14th, Chris Wood 15th, Kendall Lebron 16th.
So there is the finishing results. When we come back, it's the Clan War Servers post-race wrap-up. We'll talk to the top 3. And we'll get you set for what will be an exciting interview for the points leader from Knightdale, North Carolina, Steve Baker. Winner here at Watkins Glen. Top 3 interviews. And again, we'll wrap her up for the AMA Next Gen Challenge Series road course racing as they prepare for Rockingham next Thursday. More coverage next on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Steve Baker winning here, dominating fashion at Watkins Glen.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftease at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftease.com.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen International. Checkered flag has fell here in round number 9 of what is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing on your home for sim racing. I'm Wesley Outland. Will Duvall in the production seat, as well as executive producer Cody Wooten. We're getting ready to talk to our top 3 finishers here on the Clan War Servers post-race wrap-up. And finally, in victory lane, joining us is the points leader from Knightdale, North Carolina, getting his first win finally. Mr. Consistency is now a winner. Steve Baker, what a performance in that 55. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It was a tough one for sure.
So first off, let's go back to the start and what Brian Snare made that crazy bonsai move. Hungry, looking for a win like everybody else, like yourself as well, getting it proverbially eventually here tonight at Watkins Glen. What was your take of that craziness on the start and then shaking off the cobwebs and running down Osmond to get the victory?
Yeah, actually, I got to thank Chris Medford for that. We're going down to turn 1. I didn't see anything, and Chris just said, watch out. So I had stayed straight, and Snare sort of just went across the track. I think we got off track a little bit and ended up a little 3 wide, but everybody kind of let everybody settle back in, thankfully, and we're able to get, single filed out, and battled Dale for a while there.
A good run, a strong run for sure. What does this mean, Steve, to finally say, okay, I'm a winner. I've won on the series?
Yeah, man, means a lot. It's actually my first open setup win ever, so feels good. I had the road course circled. I love coming to these things, and it ended up being quite a fuel mileage race, so I just had to sort of first get by Dale and then just manage the gap to him and figure out, how hard he was pushing it so that I had fuel to make it to the end there.
Well, Bud, a phenomenal performance. Obviously, this has got to be a big momentum booster for you because, as I said in the broadcast, you want to win the championship at the end of the season, yes, but it would be heartbreaking to not win a race. Consistency wins races, we know that, but also determination in your drive. Did you feel like you had the car to win here at Watkins Glen today?
Yeah, I think Dale probably had the fastest car on, new tires, but I sort of set up the car to last for the whole run, and it ended up paying off. I think, if we didn't have to save fuel there, who knows? We didn't really get to test that out, but it was certainly fast enough, and tonight that was good enough.
All right, man. Thank out those sponsors on that 5-5. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, shout out SRTV Network for the sponsor. I'm kind of out here as a lone man team with Smoke Show Racing. I got the Falcon Motorsports guys helping me out with testing and stuff, so shout out to them for the help all year long. And yeah, it feels great to finally get a win.
Breaking through the victory lane, the points leader can now add a sticker on his car. The driver tonight, Dell, North Carolina, Steve Baker, wins here at Watkins Glen. Joining us now for second place finisher Dale Osmond is Will Duvall.
That's right. Caught up here with Dale. Dale, you had a lot of ups and downs in this race. You were a wicked fast car, and then there towards the end, it seemed like you're starting to, like your tires were going away a little bit there from you, and you're starting to slip and slide on the track, slide off a little bit there. What was going through your mind?
At the end there, I was just losing concentration. It was a long race, and I knew I didn't have the fastest car, so I just had a couple off-track excursions. But it didn't hurt me in the end. I still ended up with the second. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing there at the end.
I'll even say you still put on a good race and a strong finish, finishing there in second place with quite a commanding gap between you and Chris Medford there. And battled it out for quite a bit with Steve Baker. Did you think at any point in time, I've got a real shot at winning this, I'm gonna be able to beat Steve?
No, not really. Steve is a big road course guy. He's really good at them. I'm okay at him, but I knew my only shot on the long run was if he got caught up in something. But other than that, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get him.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the second place finish, and shout out to the sponsors you got on your car and the team or whatever that gets you where you are.
Yeah, my sponsor, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company. They're awesome. Great setups. My team, Blackhawk Motorsports. Dustin had a really nice finish. So did Brian, even though he had a little mistake there on the first lap. But yeah, really good night for our team. And thank you to all my family for watching, and thank you guys for broadcasting. You do a great job.
Absolutely, man. I think Wesley got caught up with our third place finisher in the 84 car, Chris Medford.
Chris Medford finishing that machine in the third position, 30-something plus seconds back, but it doesn't matter. A good run for you, Chris Medford. Definitely stayed out of trouble. A good, strong performance. What was your take of Watkins Glen this evening?
Well, like I said, we work with Steve Baker a lot, and he's pretty good at these road courses, so kind of bummed to set up off of him and tighten it up just a smidge more. But the setup was really good, a little loose in the S's, but after that it's pretty good. That start was pretty hairy. I'm glad Brian did what Brian done. I don't know, just missed the whole field because that could have been a disaster. But Steve and Katie are, easily class of the field. Them guys, they always killed on road courses. I'm just kind of, an average guy out here.
So I have a question for you, Brian. At halfway or just before halfway, we saw the leaders of Baker and Osmond come down to the pit lane. You and Ping were behind. Did you make it a point to want to lead that lap and then pit, or did y'all overshoot your pit stall and then it cost you because you wanted to pit when they pitted?
Well, they pitted on 17 complete laps and 35 laps. So I kind of wanted to go the extra lap to be safe. I seen that KD ran out, at least on the cool down lap. And I still had, 2 laps left of fuel. So it was good to know that I was good on fuel. I'm not sure if Dustin ran out coming to pit road or not. But coming out of the pit road, I had over a 10-second gap between him. So the last 15 laps, I just really rode and, stayed out of trouble. That way, I can come out with a good finish.
All right, man. Thank those sponsors. Let's get on out of here and get ready for Rockingham.
Yep. I'd like to thank the Riley Children's Hospital, Race for Riley. They're one of my main sponsors. Thanks Steve for the setup. Katie, good finish. Thank you guys for, for broadcasting. It's always fun to watch. Thanks Tyler and Mike for putting it up with everybody. I know it can be a headache at times. Thanks my teammates at Falcon Motorsports. Happy belated birthday to Doug Wasaki. I think he's about 25, 26 now. Yeah, that's about it.
Third place to Brian Medford in car number 84. And that'll wrap up our Clan War Servers post-race wrap-up. Thank you to our top 3 finishers. Congratulations again to Steve Baker, points leader, finally breaking through in the victory lane here at Walk. We'll prepare for next week at Rockingham. Getting ready to go Rockingham Speedway, the Rock, for 150 laps next Thursday night at 8:50 Eastern on LSR TV for the next round of the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. A great race. Will Duvall, what's your final thoughts as we wrap it up here tonight from Watkins Glen virtually? All right. Well, we appreciate everybody for joining us. Don't forget, coming up here at 11:45 Eastern Time, just over an hour from now, we have coverage of more road course action from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Greg Rentz, myself, will be in the booth calling the action here for an exciting race for the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. On behalf of Tyler Hilton, everybody on the American Motorsports Association, for Cody Wooten, for Will Duvall, I'm Wesley Outland. We'll see you next week at Rockingham. Congratulations again to Knightdale, North Carolina, Steve Baker, points leader, and finally winner of the Next Gen Challenge Series. God bless you all, and please keep on praying for America.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.